As the scene unfolded in the dimly lit room, my sister and I were engrossed in the horror movie playing on the screen. The atmosphere was tense, heightened by the darkness outside and the eerie silence within. Suddenly, the doorbell began to ring incessantly, breaking the silence like a sinister omen. My sister, already on edge from the movie's suspenseful build-up, froze in fear. Her eyes widened with terror as she hesitantly approached the door, each ding of the bell sending chills down our spines. With trembling hands, she peered through the peephole, her breath catching in her throat. Through the distorted fisheye view of the peephole, she saw a shadowy figure standing on the doorstep. Its features were obscured, but a cold feeling of dread washed over her as she sensed an unnatural presence lingering just beyond the door. Before she could react or comprehend what she saw, the doorbell suddenly stopped. The hallway fell into an eerie silence once more, leaving us both paralyzed with fear and uncertainty. The room seemed to close in around us, every creak and rustle echoing ominously in the stillness. As we exchanged nervous glances, unsure of what to do next, a faint scratching sound emanated from the door. It was soft at first, barely audible, but it grew louder and more insistent with each passing second. Panic set in as we realized something was trying to force its way inside. The scratching turned into a series of loud thuds, as if something heavy was pounding against the door. Shadows danced on the walls, cast by the flickering light from the TV screen, adding to the surreal and terrifying ambience. Just as we were about to scream for help, the power suddenly went out, plunging us into complete darkness. The room was now filled with the oppressive silence of the blackout, broken only by our frantic breathing and the persistent pounding on the door. In the pitch-black darkness, we huddled together, hearts pounding in our chests, praying for the nightmare to end. But the pounding continued relentlessly, growing louder and more desperate, as if whatever was on the other side was determined to break through. Then, without warning, the pounding ceased. The silence that followed was deafening, leaving us paralyzed with fear and anticipation. Seconds felt like hours as we waited, dreading what might come next. Suddenly, a low, guttural growl echoed from behind the door, sending a wave of terror through us. It was a sound that chilled us to the bone, primal and menacing, unlike anything we had ever heard before. Before we could gather our wits or summon the courage to move, a voice, cold and mocking, whispered through the crack under the door, "Let me in." And with that chilling command hanging in the air, we knew that whatever was outside was no longer human, no longer bound by the rules of our world. It was something darker, something ancient, and it hungered for us. As the room filled with a suffocating sense of dread, we realized that our nightmare had only just begun, and that the true horror was yet to reveal itself in the darkness of that locked room.